Oh, we're live. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I was busy doing something. I was patting some, some sweat on my head here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the WWE WrestleMania week. I want to welcome you guys to the WWE Slam Zone presents the WWE Hall of Fame 2015 review. You guys just got done watching a prediction show after a long 5-hour Hall of Fame induction ceremony, to which I have to agree with Miss Haley Immis from Wrestling Throwdown. Miss Haley is right. They should cut it down to 7 instead of having 9 people on there for the WWE Hall of Fame. But today, ladies and gentlemen, I think Fatback Greasy was supposed to be here, but when I had the board of directors call me, they said, my guest is here with me tonight. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is here. He is your Show Your Superstar Heavyweight Champion. Was supposed to be Tag Team Champion, but Fatback Greasy didn't do much. Sitting on his lazy butt. Just forgot to help out Big Red at the end of the show. Big Red got attacked by Willie Joe and Homicide. You are going to suffer some consequences coming up in April during Beyond the Ropes. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I have here with me Billy Bob. Say hello to thy fans.
What's up, everybody? I am one of the other co-owner of the WWE Slam Zone, Billy Bob. I am the general. I am from Harvard University. I am a graduate from Harvard University, and I am, that's right, your Show Your Superstar World Heavyweight Champion. I had to belt back there, but there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I am your champion. I beat that show called Willie Joe, and he was on the WWE YouTube channel for this contest, but you see who's the real champion. But anyway, I'm going to set my belt back down here, lock it up safe and tight. But, yes, welcome to the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I'm dressed for the occasion, ladies and gentlemen. It was great. I wish I could have been there in San Jose to see it at the SAP Center. But yeah, it was good watching it on the WWE Network, and that's for sure. I enjoyed well, some of them. Not all of them, but there's some of them. But anyway, I'm going to send it back to the host of this show tonight. He ain't Jerry Lawler. He ain't Jerry the King Lawler. And he's sure not Eva Marie. And because there was all kind of things of Eva Marie hosting the Hall of Fame and Jerry Lawler. But no, Michael Miner is not Jerry Lawler. So I'm wondering if he is the co-owner. Michael Miner, back to you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I know I should have been prepared for the inductions. I think the first one inductee that was inducted into the Hall of Fame was Rikishi. I think. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if I get some of these wrong. As you guys know, I'm trying to find out who was inducted first. But I think it was Rikishi. Rikishi had to be the one that was inducted first to the 2015 Hall of Fame. It was awesome to see Rikishi be inducted into the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It was awesome to see the Usos induct their father into the Hall of Fame. Some of the funny parts that were on there was when the Usos saying, "That right there got us into school. That right there got us into college." That was funny as heck when I saw it. I'm going to go ahead and Billy Bob, what are your thoughts on Rikishi being inducted into the 2015 Hall of Fame?
It's good news, and it was good to see Rikishi into the Hall of Fame. And it was also awesome to see the Usos, and it was so funny, yeah, when the Usos said, that bunch, it got us through college, it gave us Christmas presents, gave us birthday presents. That was hilarious. And I also liked Rikishi's speech where he mentioned The Rock, Roman Reigns, which I know he got booed tonight, but that's typical. But he also, talked about Yokozuna. Umaga got a big old cheer, standing ovation for Umaga. tonight. That was awesome to see. And he's like got the ring right here, and he showed the ring. It was pretty cool. And yeah, I like there at the end too when the Rikishi said, "We're gonna do it. I've been ready. I've been practicing. I've been stretching and back." Yeah, and they danced. Yeah, too cool. 2.0, ladies and gentlemen. I say bring it back. I say bring Rikishi back and put him with the Usos and be like too cool. And the shocker of the night was one of the Usos. I can't tell them apart, but anyways, it was either Jimmy or Jay. Probably Jimmy because of Jay's shoulder injury. So I'm saying it was Jimmy. Did the worm. Scotty 2 Hottie's dance move, or finishing move, if you want to call it that too. But that was cool to see. I totally went crazy when I seen this. I'm like, it was epic.
Oh, damn it, everybody.
But yeah, that's what my thoughts were.
All right, and well, ladies and gentlemen, we go ahead and we go into our next inductee into the 2015 Hall of Fame. It was Larry Zbyszko. He was the next inductee into the 2015 Hall of Fame. We had Bruno. What's that?
I said hashtag boring speech.
Yeah, but the thing is, to me, I love Larry Zbyszko. I used to watch some of his old AWA classics because he used to be on a channel called ESPN Classics, which I think is no longer available on my TV anymore, but I can actually go to the WWE Network to watch it. I have to say it was awesome to see, but Bruno Sammartino was the person that inducted Larry Zbyszko. I know it was somewhat long. They were sitting there talking about all his success when Bruno first met Zbyszko when he was 15 or 16 years old. Larry seemed humbled, and he said he was a big fan that wanted to be a pro wrestler. And Sammartino was talking about, hey, you should keep wrestling in high school and keep good grades, then we will see. Bruno returned home again, and every time he did, Larry always pops into his house wanting to be trained. Larry came out of high school ready to get into pro wrestling, but Bruno told him, hey, go to college, get a degree, and then we'll talk, stuff like that. And he went back and forth and that kind of stuff. But it was awesome to see Larry Zbyszko be inducted into the 2015 Hall of Fame. There was a big Larry chant. It was awesome to see him do his thing that he always does, the Larry Zbyszko salute kind of deal that he does. Pretty much we had a lot of fans saying thank you for everything. Thank you, Larry. Larry Zbyszko was always an awesome guy. He said Vince McMahon Sr. Larry says he wants to send an email to the big office in the sky. Larry says Vince Sr. believed in his dream, and the old school era went out right with the show at Shea Stadium. Larry says years ago he found himself a rabbit hole and dove in. He says Bruno was there and opened the door to a wrestling wonderland, and he's still not sure why. But he thanked everybody, and he thanked Bruno Sammartino for everything he's done for him and everything else. So, Billy Bob, what are your thoughts on Larry Zbyszko's Hall of Fame induction?
Well, it was good, but it seemed like Bruno Sammartino kind of took too long with his introduction as well. I think that kind of what happened, and time got by him. That's why I think it went past 12 tonight, because of this induction tonight went way too long in my opinion. But it was good to know the history and everything with Larry Zbyszko and everything like that. But I do want to talk about this. You know, Bruno left. Bruno left after, Larry got up there, where you had the Usos stayed for their dad. Rikishi earlier. All the rest of the presenters left. I didn't get that. I thought maybe they would have stood there for the introductions for all the Hall of Famers tonight. But anyway, it was still good to see Larry Zbyszko, but yeah, way too long, and the speech was just, to me, boring. Uh, Big Red said it put him to sleep. He said Larry Zbyszko put him to sleep tonight. But that's my opinion.
All right, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I need to list it right now. You can see it live on WWE.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't. Michael is gone somewhere. There he is.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Our next inductee into the 2015 Hall of Fame was Alundra Blayze. Lawler says this. Says there's only one thing that can make his heart stop again. Divas. Lawler introduced Natalya. That was the one that was going to induct the Hall of Famers, and he said, and it calls her the best-looking member of the Hart family. Natalya says Alundra was a woman ahead of her time. She calls her dominant and beautiful. Natalya calls her a revolutionary, and talks about the trash can incident on WCW Nitro, where we got some of the fans for a big boo. It was awesome to see that. Natalya says when she first found out she was inducting Blayze, she had to tell someone, and hopes Arn Anderson doesn't get mad of her for telling the story. She tells the story about Alundra standing up to Arn backstage and says that's why she is proud to induct this special person into the Hall of Fame. She reads a quote and introduces the former Madusa to a big pop. We had Alundra Blayze. She was thanking everybody, Alundra wants to pay homage to a woman who made it possible for every other woman in this business, the fabulous Moolah. Moolah's name gets a big pop, and Alundra thanks her for paving the way. She names other stars, including Kurt Hennig, Diamond Dallas Page, calling him a future Hall of Famer, which I think, to me, would be awesome to see Diamond Dallas Page be the next Hall of Famer. She talks about some of these Japanese people that she's done a lot of stuff with. She also thanks her 92-year-old grandmother, her mother, and her father she never knew. She tells him he would be so proud. She thanks other friends and family members managing to get a $9.99 WWE Network plug, where we could watch a lot of stuff. The funny part that I loved about Alundra, she talked about, gives a big shout out to Paul Heyman, and says she was the first Paul Heyman girl. Yeah, to me, I think she was the first Paul Heyman girl. The Dangerous Alliance, with Heyman, Austin. Says she had the biggest crush on him. I mean, could have been Paul Heyman. She names Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Zbyszko, and the late Rick Rude. She says Rick, blah, blah, blah. Then she brings out the funny part, brings out a trash can with a lot of stuff in there. She said, okay, let's see here. She also thanks her husband, who served our country for over 30 years. Thank you so much for his service. She says, let's get to some fun shit. Yeah, sucked out. We had to have a bleep in there, and it's censored. She says, let's address the elephant in the room, the trash can incident. She tells her about her sitting on the toilet and getting a call from Eric Bischoff, which gets booed. I mean, we always get booed. Then we had Natalya bring out a trash can. Blayze pulls bra and panties out. Holy smokes, we never wanted to see that. Tossing them and knocking bra and panties matches. She brings out a bottle of JR's barbecue sauce, which to me right there was awesome. she said she hated during that match. Then she brings out a copy of Eric Bischoff's book and says they're still friends. Then she brings out the belt that I think should be the one that should be in the WWE. She said, and she brings out the title belt next and calls it a damn good looking women's wrestling belt. She jokes that some of the divas today would probably kick her butt. She places the title on the podium and says the title is finally at home where it belongs, and yes, it did go where it belongs. She said, now she's currently drives a monster truck and is a two-time Monster Jam World Champion. She puts on a hell of a good thing. She puts herself over and says, you can call her Alundra or Madusa. She doesn't give a damn, but this diva will never be subdued. And she thanks the WWE fans and all that. And it was awesome to see Alundra Blayze be inducted into the 2015 Hall of Fame. Billy Bob, what are your thoughts of Alundra Blayze being inducted into the 2015 Hall of Fame?
Very awesome. I'm glad to see. I know her as Madusa from WCW, but I never did watch much of her matches when she was Alundra Blayze in the WWE back in the day. But this was awesome. This was one of my favorite inductions, of the night on the WWE Hall of Fame. I love the part about with the trash can deal. And she pulled out that barbecue sauce, and when she said, I hated that match, that was the match with Oklahoma versus Madusa in the WCW. I forget what pay-per-view that was. Oklahoma was a guy in WCW trying to act like JR. Anyway.
Okay, I know who that guy is.
Yeah, that guy. But anyway, that was pretty cool. And she said, we're going to put this rumor to rest. I mean, not rumor, this situation to rest. Took the belt out and said, here, it's back to stay. It's out of the trash can. I thought that was epic. I really liked that. And, I'm also a big fan of Madusa and Monster Jam. I actually met Madusa at a Monster Jam show back years ago. I have a ticket that has her autograph on it. Really nice person. Really, she's really nice. She'll sign an autograph until about the last person in line. She won't leave. But yeah, this was great. She looked like she was happy to be there, and glad to be in the Hall of Fame. Also, I really liked how she had all these great, telling all these people that trained her how she got in the sport of professional wrestling. She said that, she wanted to be in, or her agent said, you want to get in sports entertainment? Well, she thought she was like acting or something, but it turned around and be a pro wrestler. But anyway, this was my favorite induction, Alundra Blayze, a.k.a. Madusa. She gave a big shout out to Gorgeous George and Miss Madness, which everybody knows that's Molly Holly. But you can tell she's also was a little emotional because of the Macho Man going in the Hall of Fame, because she worked with Macho Man back in WCW as Team Madness. So, yeah, just great. I'm glad she's finally in the Hall of Fame this year, and it's going to be good, next year to see which Steve was going in. I heard rumors there might be Victoria going in next year, or maybe possibly Mickie James, but this year they picked a good pick, Alundra Blayze.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get into our next induction ceremony. This next one was for the Ultimate Warrior award. We had Donna Warrior come out. She gets emotional when talking about how hard it is to lose her husband, but she says she says he gave her some of that warrior spirit along the way. Danya thanks her daughters and says they have been her reason to wake up every day and fight to make them proud. They were talking about a lot of stuff. She thanked Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who we see getting emotional. She says that they might be bad guys, but they are really good friends. She thanks other people, you know, the family and members. Then she talks about Connor. She says the award is about the impact you leave on other people and the legacy you leave behind. Donna challenges everyone to make a donation to Connor's cure in the name of the Ultimate Warrior. Donna says if the Warriors raise $1 million in 1 month, she will do something crazy, which that was funny. Warrior related, like run into the ring, shake the ropes, or probably body slam someone. And she said it was joking about who I was thinking of doing. I'm thinking of a superstar to do that, and she thought Hulk Hogan. And she said she was joking, she was kidding. Donna introduces Daniel Bryan, the one that be inducting. The father will be put in here. Gets a yes chant going. She says Warrior thought Bryan was a perfect example of an underdog making it to the top. She says Bryan is the real deal. Bryan comes out, you know, to a big pop and almost pretty much emotional. Bryan apologized for having his hands in his pocket, but says he's trying to control the crying and all that. You know, a lot of fans were in tears with this one, with Connor. Bryan talks about his first seeing Connor on YouTube when he made a video so he could meet Bryan. I have to someday find out on YouTube about that. I've never seen that one before. Then Bryan, and then we get a lot of fans chanting "Thank you, Connor." Bryan introduces Connor's dad, Steve Michalek, to accept the award, and out he comes to an applause. Fans start chanting Connor's name. It was awesome. He's saying thank you to the fans and all that. The big one that was a shocker, and I thought maybe they would bleep this out, but Connor was and mentions his friendship with Justin Roberts. As you guys know, he's the one that was been released from the WWE. But then then Steve said, you know what, his little brother Jackson, he wants to say something. You know, it said, and then Jackson came up to, waving. It was really tearful to see that. And then he said, "I love you, Connor," and that right there teared everybody up, seeing that. Saying to his little brothers, telling his big brothers, "I love you," and it was awesome to see that. So you guys want to see real quick, on my tablet here, here's a picture of Connor and his little brother Jackson. On the right here, this one right here, that is Connor, and the little one on the one right here, that is Jackson, his little brother. They were like big fans of professional wrestling, and they said they were the ones that were going to be Kane and Daniel Bryan for the WWE Tag Team titles. And to me, that was really emotional, one that I've always will never forget. So, Billy Bob, your thoughts on the Ultimate Warrior award ceremony and seeing Jack tear up, or Jack saying "I love you," Connor saying that he loves his brother.
Very, very emotional during this whole segment. I love that trophy. That trophy or award. That Warrior Award was awesome. They really did it good. I loved how the face paint was at the top. It looked amazing. I really enjoyed how that looked. The whole speech by Dana, you can tell she's still having a hard time dealing with by the passing of the Ultimate Warrior. And I mean, it's good that the WWE and the WWE, like Stephanie and Triple H and Vince and all the family and wrestlers at the WWE, are taking great care of them. But you can tell she's having it rough. But the speech was very emotional. I'm glad that WWE is doing this award each and every year for the Hall of Fame. And yeah, and then when Connor's dad come out, it was good to see that. You can tell he was having a hard time as well, because he was getting choked up. He was like crying a little bit. You can tell. And then when Connor's little brother come out, he's like, "I got something to say," or he's got something to say to his brother. and he said, "I love you, Connor," and that was just emotional right then and there. But yeah, great, great. I'm glad they took the time. I'm glad this was a little lengthy. It deserved to be lengthy speeches. Just great, great night for the Hall of Fame for Dana and even Connor's dad and his little brother.
All right. Were we talking about this, ladies and gentlemen? I did take a picture of the award as what it looks like right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is the award that was given to Connor's father. As you guys know, that's the award that they were that Travis was talking about with the Ultimate Warrior's face paint on it. The award looked pretty awesome on that. So we're going to go ahead and get into our next inductee into the 2015 Hall of Fame, and pretty much we're going to go, whoa, yay! You know, and I just love just doing this. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a big, as you guys know, the next inductee was the Bushwhackers. We came back and he plugged the WWE Network, joking that there are 9 Hall of Famers tonight, and once you're done hearing them all talk, you'll feel like you're 99 years old. And I sat there and I was laughing my butt off. Then Jerry Lawler introduced John Laurinaitis, the one that would have been inducting to the Hall of Fame, and out he comes to a people power chant. Laurinaitis says tonight it's not about him or people power, it's about the Bushwhackers. John Laurinaitis had the Australian, I think it's the New Zealand or the Australian flag. Talks about how he carried the flag for Butch and Luke when he showed a picture of them holding the flag. It was awesome to see that. I have to say, Butch, the one that was getting pretty old for his age. Luke, pretty much to me, he looks more about the same, but Butch, man, he looked more older. They were talking about a lot of stuff, with Killer Kowalski, working with him in Australia in the 1960s. Then they talked about working with Andre the Giant in the 1960s and the 70s. They thanked their daughter, their wife, Butch's wife. They asked Rowdy Piper to stand up and get, they're talking about Rowdy Piper. Then they had Bret Hart come up. Then all of a sudden they had to have Jim Duggan come up. He said he thanks her and tells her he loves her. Butch also gives love to his daughters watching back at home in New Zealand. Butch then thanks one more person, his cousin Luke. This gets pop, but Luke doesn't want to get sick by licking him. That was so fun to see Butch just grab it. Butch ends up. Luke thanks the WWE Universe one more time for giving 2 boys from down under a chance to be on the biggest stage. Butch ends up licking Luke's face, and to me, I love that way. It's always the funnest thing to do. So yeah, it was fun to see that. Billy Bob, what are your thoughts of the Bushwhackers getting inducted into the 2015 Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Bushwhackers, this was hilarious. So another one of my favorites inductions tonight. It was very, very funny when he was talking about, thanking the legends that helped him and stuff. That was hilarious. When he said Hacksaw Jim Duggan saying like, oh, that night, we had so many this, so many that. There was hoes and he's like, no, I'm just saying, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm not. He's like, no, Hacksaw Jim Duggan goes, ho. But yeah, that was, yeah. But anyway, that was just hilarious what he said. And they just made this speech, you could sit through it. They were so hilarious where you were able to actually sit there and enjoy it instead of a boring speech. So I give props to the Bushwhackers for all the comedy on there. And it was hilarious when they said, Bret Hart, get up there. Bret Hart went to the stage and he did that. It was hilarious. I mean, very awesome induction speech by the Bushwhackers. Very funny, and they remind me of some hillbillies. You know, when I was a hillbilly back in the day, but I'm a Harvard graduate now. But back in the day, man, it kind of remind me, kind of bring back memories there, Michael.
Yeah, it does with the Bushwhackers. It really does bring a lot of memories with the Bushwhackers. I used to watch them back in the day when I was a kid. When I first saw these guys all the way from Australia, and I'm like, "Whoa, who are these guys?" And then they were just goofy guys that go around licking people's faces, and that kind of deal. Our next inductee, which to me I think was really somewhat of a shorter one, we had Lawler leads out to another Hall of Famer that was being inducted into the Hall of Fame was Tatsumi Fujinami. He was the next inductee into the Hall of Fame. So he introduced Ric Flair, the guy that will induct him. Flair comes out and talks about how he's honored to be here. He says the work he's done since 2008 is some of his favorite. He also mentions his daughter Charlotte, who was in NXT. Flair says he's been going to Japan since 1972, and he's wrestled all the greats. He praises how tough the Japanese wrestlers were and how their trainers at the dojos tried to break young wrestlers, but they couldn't break Fujinami. Flair asked Vader to stand, and he gets a big pop. Flair talks about Vader and Fujinami battling for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and then how Fujinami defeated Ric Flair for the NWA World Title. Flair gives props to Vader and says he can go. Thanking him for the stuff that a lot of the stuff that he's done for the company. Pretty much, he was just saying thank you to the fans and all that kind of stuff. And that was he said he was proud to be here and thanks everyone. Goes on and thanks his wife and family who are in the crowd, which as you guys see, some of the people that are Japanese, they wear some kind of different outfit, as you guys saw in the audience. He thanks everyone again, and then just wraps up speech pretty short one. Billy Bob, what are your thoughts on this Tatsumi? I know it's just a Japanese wrestler being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Well, it is what it is. I wasn't a big fan of this one. You had to sit there and had to sit there and listen carefully to what he says, because it looks like he don't know much English. He's trying to talk, but it was hard for him, it looked like. But the fans were very quiet during this segment. I mean, there really ain't much to talk about here.
All right, yeah, there was not much there to talk about. Now we go ahead and get into our next Hall of Famer. We talk about the Macho Man Randy Savage. He introduces Hulk Hogan, which one will be inducting Randy Savage into the Hall of Fame. Hogan comes out and does his best Macho Man impersonation. Hogan says Savage was something else. A friend, he was crazy, he was the epitome of what we do in the sports of entertainment. Hogan says it's his honor and privilege to introduce his friend into the 2015 Hall of Fame. A big Randy Savage chant breaks out. Hogan talks about how Savage loved the business and had it in his blood. Hogan says they all looked up to Savage's dad, Lanny Poffo, which gets a pop. Stuff here and there talking about him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Hogan introduces Savage's brother, the genius Lanny Poffo, to accept the honor. Polfo said about a good, talked about a poem. He talked about Mr. T and all that kind of stuff. He says Savage loved those kids like Mr. T loves his mother. Then, did a lot of, poems and all that kind of stuff. So, Fatback Greasy, or Billy Bob, what are your thoughts on Randy Savage being inducted into the 2015 Hall of Fame?
Well, Michael, I don't know if you drunk too much of that Fatback Pepsi that you stole a few weeks ago, but don't drink too much of that. That makes you loopy there, Michael. But anyway, I do want to say this. This was what the induction I was looking forward to tonight on the Hall of Fame. I'm glad Macho Man is finally in the WWE Hall of Fame. He deserves it. Fans been wanting it. Now you have it. Macho Man now in the WWE 2015 Hall of Fame. It was good to see Lanny take the induction for the Macho Man. If you seen our tweet on our at WWE Slam Zone Twitter account, you've seen that our tweet was broadcasted on the WWE Wrestlemania Today show. So thank you for that, WWE Network. But anyway, with Macho Man, it was good. Lanny had a great speech as well. I was just excited just to watch it, in my opinion. But I'm so glad Macho Man's in the Hall of Fame. But overall, my reaction to this, epic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are
muted here. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we go on to the next one. We talk about Jerry Lawler shows up a video package. The next inductee into the Hall of Fame is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Lawler says our next inductor is facing Sting at WrestleMania 31, and Lawler would give his pick on who will win, but he likes to keep his job. Then we had Triple H come out and says says this is his favorite night, and you can be crying 1 minute, smiling the next. He says Arnold Schwarzenegger embodied the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame. Talked about including coming to SmackDown, knocking Triple H's knocking out Triple H. Triple H jokes that his nose wasn't always that big. Triple H says people are drawn, to Arnold Schwarzenegger about the movies and everything else. So we pretty much he introduces Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold just talks about a lot of stuff. He thanks everyone repeatedly and says, "Get to the chopper." He throws another line out. "It's not a tumor." And Arnold praises Triple H and calls him X, and talks about his induction and all that. And he's thanking Triple H and the WWE for inducting him to the Hall of Fame. Then at the end, he said he thanks America and says, "I'll be back. Thank you." And he just goes off. So, Billy Bob, what are your thoughts on the induction ceremony of one Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Well, I got a lot of stuff. Really upset by this. Not with the Arnold Schwarzenegger induction. It's with the way they placed the order of this. To me, Arnold Schwarzenegger should not have been.
Real quick, Billy Bob, I have a word I want to say. I'll be back.
Okay. But anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger should have not been after Macho Man. Macho Man should have been the one that closed, one that should have been before Kevin Nash tonight. So I was very upset over this. That shouldn't have happened. But with the induction, it was good. Triple H had a great speech, I think the real reason Arnold Schwarzenegger was inducted in the Hall of Fame this year because they knew that they WWE knew that Triple H was going into the Arnold Classic Hall of Fame or whatever you want to call that. But that's my opinion on why I think Arnold was in this Hall of Fame this year. To me, that the thing was sponsored, or the Hall of Fame was sponsored by the Terminator movie, so that might have been a possibility why he was going in this year too. But anyway, I didn't see the whole entire speech myself. I left because I had to go do a few things and stuff. So I didn't see it, and I really didn't care about a speech. To be honest, I just didn't care about it.
I know Haley is going to love this, but Billy Bob, we got to get to the chopper. We got to get to the chopper. It was not the tumor. We got to get to the chopper. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I am the next Miz. Thank you. Miz taught me how to do the impersonations. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be back. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get into the last inductee of the night. It was the last one was Kevin Nash. We come back and Lawler says it wouldn't be WrestleMania without an appearance by Mr. WrestleMania himself, and out comes Shawn Michaels to a big pop. And here's an awesome thing that I love what HBK did. He tears up his paper. All the stuff he said, he just tore it up and threw it on the ground. And says, this is a pro wrestler inducting another pro wrestler. He says clearly one of them is going to get in trouble when they go to the back. HBK warns us not to try this at home, as he's a trained professional. He talks about seeing Vinny Vegas on WCW Saturday Night. Must be some kind of show years ago. And he made HBK chuckle. He discusses how he asked Rick Steiner about Vegas, and that eventually led to them meeting. So Shawn, was talking about Nash being his bodyguard. He also told about the life of the NWO. He says without the NWO, there would not be DX, and without DX, he jokes that there wouldn't be a lifetime of merchandise. Checks keeping him afloat for the rest of his life. He thanks Nash for being a great friend, introduces Big Daddy Cool, and out comes the former Diesel to a big pop. The NWO music hits. Pretty much Nash thanks Shawn for making him have to follow his speech. Nash says he's always thought of Shawn as their Michael Jordan of WWE. Jokes about his 23 of his food trucks outside. So if anyone gets hungry, they should stop by. He talked about Dusty Rhodes. They showed on the big screen his character back in WCW called Oz. It was a really creepy character. I remember seeing some footages about that. But yeah, pretty much he thanks everybody and all that kind of stuff, and then we get a big pop. Out comes Scott Hall, Sean Waltman, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels. The Hall of Fame goes off the air with the Clique standing together on the stage. Was really awesome to see that happen. So, Billy Bob, your thoughts on the last inductee in the 2015 Hall of Fame, Kevin Nash, or as we call him, Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Oh, we finally at the end. Oh, wow. This was a long WWE Hall of Fame show, but yeah, it ended good.
Hey, at least we didn't sit for like 5 hours watching a WWE Hall of Fame. We give you the fans a shorter version of this Hall of Fame thing. We don't sit there for 5 hours trying to fall asleep while watching the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Which it wasn't boring. At all. It was good to see some funny skits here and there and some tears and that kind of stuff. But we'll talk about it later. Go ahead and talk about it. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Shawn Michaels, that was pretty awesome. it's like I think he was like he seen the script and he's like, oh, this is boring, and I guess that's probably what he was thinking. Like, I need to make it more interesting. These people about probably tired, they want to leave, so I want to make it interesting and hey, let them go home happy. But anyway, it was good. Shawn Michaels is always awesome. On the mic and everything, and Kevin Nash was cool to see him inducted tonight into the Hall of Fame. And yeah, it was cool to see that Oz thing. I kind of remember that when they showed the Monday Night War documentary on the network, they were talking about it, and it was good. I mean, it was funny too. He's like, I like the story where he told Vince said, "Come, I need you to come to my house," and he was like, oh, cool. I'm getting fired by Vince at his own house. You can't beat that, Kevin Nash said. I thought that was pretty funny. And he's like, Vince, like, I'm going to give you the strap, the world title. And, but that was funny. And Shawn, I remember Shawn in the speech, he was saying, what? You giving him the title? And you're like, we're a team. And it's like, Vince, like, no, that big guy's on fire. And, Shawn's like, I don't see where he's saying that, Vince. But anyway, it was just good, and I liked the ending where the X-Pac, Triple H, Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash all posed for pictures and did the clicks, held up the click sign. But it was cool to see that as the ender to the WWE Hall of Fame of 2015.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it was a good thing to see WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Billy Bob, I got a question. Do we have any viewers out there tonight?
Yes, we did. We had up to 3 viewers on this show. I know that they probably had left now because it says 0, but they probably left because it's getting late here. But thank you for those viewers that did watch. But yes, we had 3 viewers there, Michael.
Well, I want to say thank you guys so much with the 3 viewers. I knew one of them had to be Haley from Wrestling Throwdown. I know she was so excited to see this on her end. As you guys know, we have a little surprise with the Wrestling Throwdown later next month in April. It's going to be a secret, and you guys are going to have to wait for that. I just want to let you guys know, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Final thoughts on the Hall of Fame. Great WWE Hall of Fame. No glitches. I'm surprised. There was not a lot of, little freeze-ins here and there. It was just smooth sailing. But I just want to talk about something real quick. The booings. To me, it was like ridiculous about booing and all that kind of deal. A lot of people there were not like wrestling fans and that kind of deal, just to boo on something. Or, WCW, I can see them booing, but, booing Larry Zbyszko. He's been around the wrestling world for a long time, more than anybody else. I know there was a little boo here and there with Connor's father. That, to me, I think right there was a little too disrespectful right there. Also, I want to say, but yeah, great Hall of Fame. Wish it was a little somewhat shorter of Hall of Fame, but with 9 people, man, I have to say, like what Jerry Lawler said, it'll feel like that we were 99 years old tonight with that. So yeah, final thoughts, great show. I missed little bits and pieces of the Rikishi one. Because I've got something I want to say for my boys in red and white. Travis, yeah, I guess I've been having too much Fatback Pepsi there, Billy Bob. Billy Bob, what are your final thoughts on the Hall of Fame induction ceremony tonight?
Yeah, I'm telling you, Michael, it makes you loopy. I mean, I never tried it, but you know how Flatbed Greasy does. He gets all craziness when he drinks that stuff. But anyway, Hall of Fame, it was good tonight. I enjoyed it. except for, you know, the Larry Zbyszko speech, like Big Red said, it put him to sleep. But yeah, anyway, but overall it was good. I enjoyed it. Too long. It was a little too long. It was like scheduled to be 3 hours, which turned into 5 hour show. Yeah, 5 hours. But man, that's going to be a long DVD when they put the DVD out, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't want to watch the 5 hours of the DVD, just go on the WWE Network and just fast forward to what you want to see. But at first there, Michael, I thought, okay, it's past 11. Are they going to really go past 11? Or are they going to cut it off and you have to watch it somewhere exclusively or something? I thought that was going to happen at first. I'm glad it didn't. But overall, just a great night for the WWE Hall of Fame. And I guarantee you next year they're going to think this over and not put as many in, you know, as they did this year. So I think that would probably be shortened down, because I guarantee you somebody, Triple H or Vince McMahon, was back there in the back saying, oh man, this is getting late. It's getting very late. So, but anyway, I guess that's what they're going to figure it out next year. But I give the Hall of Fame. I'm going to give my rating real quickly to 10 out of 10 for the Hall of Fame tonight. Except there was a few minor, you know, things like the Larry Zbyszko thing and that Japanese guy, but overall it was still good, you know, to watch. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was awesome for that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead with our shout-outs of the night. I just want to say big ups to my boys in red and white. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Wisconsin Badgers, the #1 seed Wisconsin Badgers, are moving on into the Final Four. They will be taking on #1 seed Kentucky. I'm sorry, Kentucky, but we are going to be like Brock Lesnar beat the streak of the Undertaker. We are going to be the 1 in 38-1. So get ready for a streak. Be gone. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen, because Wisconsin Badgers are going to the national championship this year. Big shout outs to Haley over at Wrestling Throwdown. Big shout outs to everybody over at the Destroying Kayfabe. Big shout outs to In the Rope Show, Nexus of the YWC. Big shout outs to Adam the Woo. Thank God Fatback Greasy is not here to sing that ridiculous intro for whoever this other guy was. Big shout outs to Luigi PS3. I know she's at WrestleMania. Big shouts to everybody that is at WrestleMania 31. Hope you guys have a fun time. I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos from some of my favorites, like Stevie Breach. I haven't seen anyone from Assault and Battery 777 or the Boston Brothers V2. I think they'll be waiting. They're videotaping, but they're going to wait till they get home to edit and that kind of stuff to make like a big video, like a part 1, part 2, and here and there kind of deal. I can't wait to see that. So pretty much that's it. Don't forget, guys, for WrestleMania 31 review show tomorrow night after Mania, come on over to the WWE Slam Zone. I think mine will be second after it, so come on over to my channel too for a WrestleMania 31 review show. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll try to get in some special guests on the show. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead to go over to Billy Bob to give out his shout-outs and everything else, and then I will close up for tonight's Night 6 of the WWE Slam Zones presents the WWE WrestleMania week.
That's right. Big shout outs to all the members of the Enforcement, Big Red, Little Red, and Michael Miner, the host for tonight on the Hall of Fame. You know what? With the Enforcement, and we created this week. And but anyway, big shout outs to the Enforcement. Big shout outs to all our great subscribers of this channel. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Like this video, comment, tell us what you think. We would love to hear your feedback on what you thought of the WWE Hall of Fame, what you thought of WrestleMania week in general. So like this video, subscribe to us. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. It's totally free to check out this channel. Also, big shout outs to all the people follow us on Twitter at WWE Slamzon. Big shout outs to, we got one viewer watching. Big shout outs to you as well. Tell us what you thought in the comment section, like this video as well. Anyway, well, who else? No, big shout outs to Justin Scarred. I know that Fatback Greasy likes him. He does his little intro. Michael, do you know the intro? I don't forgot his intro. Who cares?
No, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know the intro. Sometimes vlog. I think it was sometimes vlog, but it's a vlog that happens sometimes. Is that right?
Yep.
Anyway.
I guess so. Who really cares?
But anyway, check out his channel. Justin Scarred. He does the Live Fast Die Poor channel as well. Check him out. Very awesome dude. But anyway, let's see, who else can I give a shout out to? Oh yeah, I got one big shout out. He's a Harvard graduate, just like me. He was in my Harvard graduate class of, I don't forgot the year I graduated. It was like 1998, I think, or something like that, ladies and gentlemen. But big shout outs to Harvard graduate David Ertunga. He's awesome. He knows a lot of stuff, just like me. So, you know what? Big shout outs to you, David. But yeah, I didn't know. You probably didn't know that, Michael Miner. But anyway, that's it for my shout outs for tonight from the co-owner of the WWE Slam Zone. And right here, your WWE. Show your superstar world's heavyweight champion. And hey, Willie Joe. Yeah, don't call me again like you did during that prediction show. That was just whatever, Willie Joe. If you want this title, you're going to have to come get it, okay? Just like I'm going to come get them tag team championships soon. So you better keep your eye open there, Willie Joe. Who cares? But I am Billy Bob. I hope everybody enjoyed tonight. I hope everybody enjoyed this first ever Hall of Fame review on this channel. But I'm going to go back and let Michael Miner, the co-owner, close out the review for the night. And Billy Bob is signing out. That's right. Good night, everybody. Back to you, Michael.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching WWE Slam Zone presents the WWE 2015 Hall of Fame review show. First time ever we are doing this. Thank you guys so much for the viewers. Thank you guys so much for everything. I hope you guys have a good night. I hope you guys have a fun time tomorrow night for the 4-hour extravaganza WrestleMania 31. Don't forget to check either YouTube or Facebook. They possibly might be putting out a video of what the new set is going to look like. They may or may not, but we'll find out that later on this week or tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Michael Miner. That's Billy Bob. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for WrestleMania 31 review show. Adios. Goodbye from the World Heavyweight, the Enforcer Heavyweight Champion, and the two-time YouTube Heavyweight Champion, Michael Miner. Good night.